No, absolutely. Like I said, Houston's a terrific team. Kelvin does a great job with his group. Uh, you know, they just play really well together. And for 40 minutes, I thought for 37 minutes, I thought we played some really good basketball and put ourselves in position where we have a chance. And if a couple shots fall and we get a couple stops, I thought, they had some guys who really stepped up. I thought the young man, Taz stepped up and made a big play. I thought Fabian White, same thing. I thought those guys made plays, down the stretch. And, they were a Final Four team last year. And you can tell, by some of the things that they did and some of the plays guys made, they've been in those situations before.
Well, Dawkins just said that the team needs to play for 40 minutes, but we've heard that throughout the year. What do you think it is going to take to get them to play that 40 minutes?
Well, I think what it's going to take is we have to do a better job of, we're all about solutions, and for us, I think one of the solutions is for us going back to the drawing board and what we do and how we practice, with the level of focus that's required for 40 minutes. Practice is a couple hours, so I think we start there. It starts there. It doesn't start with us talking about it. That's not going to do it. We got to get in there and actually start working on that, more consistently to try to get that type of effort, not just effort, because our guys play hard. That's not even the right word. But the level of focus we need for the 40 minutes is what sometimes we lack. It isn't the effort. It's just a play here, a play there. They make that play because they're locked in on it, and we didn't make the play because we just weren't quite locked in on the attention to details that you need to make it work, to execute it. And so those are things we got to continue to work on and get better at. And like I say, it'll start for us. We're going to, get in practice and we're going to work at it. That's all you can do.
You've got a good trio between, Perry and Brandon and Darren, but is it frustrating that it's hard to get them all to have a really good night on the same night? It seems like there's always one guy that maybe struggles and presses and just has a bad stat sheet.
Absolutely. 19 games, But, again, when that happens for me, I know we have really good players. We have really good guards. When that happens, I look at the other team, and the other team has something to do with that. No one's out there allowing you to do things. Everyone has a game plan, and in the game plan, I'm sure they're taking certain people out or as best they can. And so you may not have all guys hitting on cylinders, every night and or most nights because their game plan is to take some people away from that. And so you give the other team their credit, just like we tried to take some things away from some of their players, and we were able to take some things away from some of their players. They were able to do some of the same things to ours as well.
Let's focus on that a bit, Coach. We're talking about a lot of the offensive stuff there, too. But defensively, your guys seem to stand up to them pretty well for most of the game.
No, I thought defensively we did a great job. I mean, if you had said going to the game, they have around 60 points with a minute and a half to go, you okay, that's a pretty good defensive effort against a team that's a high-octane offensive team and a really good defensive team. So I thought defensively, for the most part, I really liked our D. I thought we gave up a few too many offensive rebounds, timely ones, when, like, down the stretch where I think they held the ball for almost 2 minutes because they were able to keep getting the offensive rebound, and that was precious time. It was ticking away. They were timely offensive rebounds for them. I thought overall we did a good job of not allowing them to get too many offensive rebounds. I think they had 12 they had 12 for the game. And for them, they can go up into the 20s, against a lot of teams offensive rebound-wise. So we did a good job of boxing out and following the game plan there. It's just that we gave up some untimely ones.
Darius Johnson had 0 points tonight. What can you take away as a freshman? What can he learn from this game as a young guy moving forward?
Well, I think the biggest lesson he's going to learn is being in this environment, because we had a great environment here, great crowd, great environment. And for him to be in that type of environment, he's a freshman. For him to kind of grow and learn from that experience is going to be, I think, real beneficial for him. He faced a top 10 team, and they're a top 10 team in the nation. They're that good. We faced a lot of good teams, as you know, this year, and I don't think we faced anyone better than them. And so I think that him having faced them and play a game like that is just going to help him as he continues to move forward.
Coach, it seems like the talent and the effort that you have with your team here isn't truly reflective of the record that you have. So is there a past experience that you have in your coaching career and playing career where the team wasn't producing those results that they were capable of? And how do you get past that, tough time in the middle of the season?
One, I think we got to stay, upbeat, understand we have a lot to play for. It starts there, and probably my sophomore year at Duke probably was the closest year I've had to this one that I can remember, where we're kind of in the same situation. We had talent. We got off to a really good start in the season. Then we hit conference play, and conference play is tough. Everyone knows everyone, and we have a good league. As you're seeing by some of the teams that are winning and how things are going. So, same thing happened for me, and we had to just fight through it, and we did. And we turned the corner as that season went on toward the end. It's finally when we started to turn the corner and made some noise and made a good run and was an NCAA tournament team. But we were going through very similar things that we're going through right now. It's basically you're learning how to win consistently. You're learning how to win consistently, and there's a process to that, and you have to go through some of the things we're going through. There's really no shortcut to it. I mean, you can't cheat it. You got to go through these type of games. You have to learn from them, build, and keep moving forward, and staying positive and staying encouraged that we know we can be successful. I believe in my guys, and I want them to continue to believe in themselves, and we're gonna keep pushing hard as we can, and that's what the season's about.
Coach, your team's down a couple of possessions, gets into the bonus. Would you have liked to see them drive to the bucket a little bit more? Mbake said your shooters had open looks and they took shots that just didn't roll in. Would you have liked to see them do something different?
No, we talked about that's exactly we discussed that. When it was 16 fouls, we said we want to get the ball, drive the ball, get in the paint. We want to get into the bonus. We're already in the bonus. We know we're shooting free throws. But again, you give the other team credit. They walled up pretty good defensively. They shrunk some gaps so we couldn't see the lanes we wanted, and so then we settled for the outside shot because it may have been available. But they knew that their first option for us was to attack the paint when they had 16 fouls. We wanted to get them into foul trouble and try to drive the basketball and get to the line as much as we could. But we weren't able to do it. Like Bake said, some guys had open looks. You can't tell Darren, who has an open look, drive the basketball. I mean, he's a shooter. Brandon, pretty much is a shooter too. I mean, so those guys sometimes, will lean toward that as opposed to settle for that, as opposed to maybe putting their head down. Guys like Darius Perry, Darius Johnson, they're going to get to the basket. Isaiah's going to get to the basket. CJ can rip sometime, get to the basket as well. And so if it ends up in the shooter's hands, the result may be they're going to feel good about it because they're confident in their jumpers.
UCF had a lot of alumni come back this weekend for alumni weekend. I know there was a social last night. How was that? Did you get to spend a little time with those guys yesterday?
No, I did. I wanted to make sure I went by there and spent some time with all the former players. It was a great turnout, and some of the players and their families. And I really, I'm really happy that we were able to do that and bring them here and kind of see where we are as a program, and for them to kind of, this is their program. You should be proud of the things that are being accomplished. They should be proud of some of the things that some of the former players had accomplished themselves. When I look at some of the banners up there, a lot of those players were back. And so, and there's a lot of big things happening. The future's so bright here, of course, for UCF, but, for our program as well. I see, where we can do a lot of special things. There's a process to it, and we have to keep working every day and chipping away at it till we get it where we want it to be.
What is an event like
Last
this
question
for the
for Coach.
culture of the program? What does it say about the culture of the program?
I think it says we have a strong culture. When you see that many former players come back, and I didn't coach a lot of those players that came back, and that's what I really appreciate. And I tried to explain that to some of the former players, that this is your program. I said coaches are stewards of a program. We come and go. It's just a nature of our profession. But just because a person didn't coach you doesn't mean this program isn't yours and that you shouldn't take ownership of it, because all of those players bled and sweat on this court, practicing games. They committed to it. They made sacrifices. And so I always want them to have a good feel when they come back here that the steward, who is me right now, is going to make sure that we do everything in our power to make them proud of how we go out there and perform every night, how we compete, how we conduct ourselves on and off the court. I want them to be proud because, again, this is theirs. And like I said, I think the best is yet to come for us here, and this is a process of just working through it.